If this project were just about helping people with disabilities, that would be enough. And I invite you to celebrate the ways in which this project helps not only those with disabilities, but our entire community. For example, day services provide a safe place for an adult child with disabilities to come along so that parents and caregivers can work during the day. It also advances a narrative on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm thrilled to see our community here supporting this project, and I encourage you to look at your workforce, your faith group, your endangered neighborhood for opportunities to include those with disabilities. And with that, I would like to thank all of our distinguished guests for coming here today, all of our legislators and friends and partners. I see so many people in this crowd that I'm just entirely grateful for, and that our entire community here at Paladin respects and loves. So thank you very much. There will be a brief Q&A followed by a quick tour for those who are interested. Again, our sincere appreciation to Congressman Mrvan for all of your support, and to our community who showed up for us today. I would like to introduce the first speaker today, Ms. Paula Nichols. Paula is a Paladin board member.
I'm so glad to see so many of you here today. And I am so excited. I know I have been bothering Steve since the starting here. Got to be more, got to be more. And he asked me to speak. Of course, I was very nervous because I'm so passionate about something. You just don't know how to express that to people. So I wrote 3 different things to say, and I made my husband listen to them. And none of them do justice to really how I feel. And I'm so grateful for this support. I'm going to get emotional. I've been involved in education, special education, for 43 years. Well, even before that, because I started in 7th grade and been a passion of mine. But I've been involved in Paladin as a board member for about 15 years. I've seen people come and go, but I've seen the passion of the staff and the clients that we serve. It's just amazing. And now I have such a great pride, and they have such a great pride with the mission and the extremely important work that we involved in the organization. I wish I could, having seen their parts, know what they do every single day. And in this facility, I know, because I've walked through it so many times, we've had buckets and trash cans, touching rain, and, I'm afraid of, what my talk is. But still people came in with smiles on their faces, willing to do their job and for each other. One thing that always stuck out in my mind has been the subject of all these conversations we've had over the years about what we can do, how we can make things better. We already had the art, we had the people doing the job, but the building. We walked in and we see people freezing with the love light here. Kim and I just had a conversation about one of our young ladies had mittens and gloves on, trying to do the job, and buying motor concerns. And so Kim bought her some gloves that you could use for gardening, and she could her job. Walk out there and icicle water goes to walk through. And it's much warmer in here now. I'm really excited with what has happened already. Then to see these pictures, I can't thank you enough. I'm not saying anything that I haven't heard. I'm just kind of rambling on. But anyway, I am pleased and grateful to people who are helping financially and in any other way to support this huge endeavor. We went to so many buildings trying to find a difference. And this one was too big and it put out money. And now, with financial support and the people that are going to be wrapping themselves around us, big hubs, this building is making something that everybody can walk into, including our clients, the staff, and wow, look at the place that we can come and do our jobs and serve everyone. So thank you. I'm so happy being part of it. I hope that I can be around for many, many more years. I'm 63, so I hope I have 20 more years, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for all that everybody does to help. Thank you.
board member, I'm also a mother who can definitely benefit from services centers like this. My son is hearing impaired and went to the and because of centers like this, he has a voice. You know, one of the greatest concerns when you have a handicapped child is what is going to happen to your child when you're no longer there to make his voice. Knowing that we have centers like this is amazing. Knowing that when I'm no longer there to support him and be his voice, we have centers like this that will be his voice. As a councilwoman, it wasn't that long ago that Brother Poet and my other project senators came to our council meeting and asked us to pledge $500,000 of our ARP. With the help of two councilmen that we had back there, Randy Novak and Mike Rosenbach and many others, we voted to give $500,000 to the Senate. Now, I knew it's been above compared to what you were able to raise, but it was something. It's because we in our county know that this is a center that needs help. And we were willing to stand up, and no matter how much it was, we would go ahead and we would give back to our community. It was a good use of ARP money, and I'm grateful that we were able to do it. I have changed roles. I'm now the commissioner, and I will continue my role as a commissioner to help and be a voice and add support Paladin. All I can really say, and I'm going to put you all to sleep, because I think we're right now. I really do believe this center, and I think that we need centers like this. This is a center that not only helps individuals in the later part of their lives for a voice, you know, young individuals. You know, their early intervention is unbelievable. I know part of the family. And you guys are just doing a fantastic job. Don't hesitate to call out the women in the It's my honor to announce the next individual is Brett. Do you understand?
There is a sensor room of people that might want to get away from life really. Like someone's, you know, like that. They go there, calm down, so that they don't contribute to that. This area in here is going to be two classrooms for people that don't have, you know, like class. They'll be coming here. And our so that's why.
The big parts of college. Very glad that we're getting them in Harvard. And with the help of the wonderful art teachers here, are going to create personal projects that love creative arts. And with our learning the techniques and with everything being new, we're not going to get more stuff out. I'm also appreciative that there is going to be a sensory meeting because I am on the autism spectrum and sometimes I need a break from my classroom because I love my classroom, but it gets loud and it helps try to do something. That's all I have.
Thank you. I would now like to introduce State Senator Michael Hunter.
showing up. I'll keep it pretty short because I think everybody already said what I was going to say. Just a little quick story there. When I was a county commissioner, I had custody of my daughter, the Down syndrome 70. She was 5 years old at the time. And in pretty short order, I realized we didn't have any special needs daycare facilities available in the county, which was really a challenge. So that's when I first became introduced to the contractor on this project, Paladin Blank, and then President John Gilmore, who I look at him now, and we are both a lot greater, smaller, and better. But they stepped up. But they stepped up along with our trade unions in the community, and we actually made a very nice, I would call it a world-class facility for special ed kids that needed daycare services and care after school, because that was a problem as well too. Now this has changed, and what's fun to me is I see some of the same faces here now that were students and being serviced by the Barker Woods daycare facility. So it's very nice to see that transition. But it is great to see the community come out and to see the breadth and depth of the support here, both politically and also from the community as well. So and it's nice to be able to have support at the federal level, which is a new thing for us. So I'm sure that the new council will be here for questions in the future, as will LaPorte County as well. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. So I'd like to introduce my good friend, unfortunate roommate, and carpool buddy, Representative Preston.
Thanks. Now I know why Senator Bill actually encouraged me to wear ties. I realized I was going to be speaking, but an observation that I've had with Paladin community, how you move that ball forward, right? So you start with passion. There's obviously a lot of passion. Then there's education and advocating. I see a lot of that. And the big thing that brings us all together, Congress, state, and county, is relationships. Paladin has all of this. Community has all of this. And if you combine all that, you can do great things together. I'm excited to be here and hear from the Congressman, hear what Paladin's exciting news is going to be with this. I look forward to seeing this with you. Thank you very much.
Just a couple more. I would like to introduce LaPorte County Council President Mike Wilson.
First, it is an extreme pleasure to be here and to see all the faces that are here, mostly the community, people who are truly affected by this personally. I had my sons had different difficulties with learning disabilities, so they didn't have the same challenges that you encountered here. I've had to go through fighting for them for the programs that they went to. And so now I love to see the way they fought, the way that we're able to communicate, and the way that we're able to help with a group like this to come forward to make life better for our residents who gets our residents data, our residents county. Therefore, when the council had the opportunity to fund the program, start things going, we're very proud of it. Not just because we move people here, the family members here, because it's the right thing to do. That's what I hope to take from this. This is the right thing to do, and let's see how we can bring this forward. Thank you very much for your time.
And we would like to introduce John Gilmore.
Really clear. First, Tom Blank is very honored to
be a part of this terrific project that's going to allow Paladin to continue to serve disabled members of our community. We've been doing work in this facility for many decades. So when Senator Kohasik called me back in 2021 and asked if he'd be willing to help, I said, absolutely, we're all in. He and Kim and their group and quickly determined that before we could start funding, and what we're going to talk about today, we had to fix the building, right? So that's what we've been working on doing. We're not finished yet. It's still leaking. We haven't done this work yet. Soon we're going to have a watertight building so that we can continue with this project, phase 2, that Congressman's going to talk about today. So we're very excited about that. I'd like to thank Congressman Mrvan, Senator Kohasik, Steve Hobby, and the whole Paladin family for allowing us to be a part of this great project. It's going to transform this building into a beautiful modern facility that's going to continue to help our community for many decades to come.
I introduce our president and CEO. He will introduce our congressman. I did just want to note that Senator Rodney Holt is here today. We want to thank him. The mayor of Michigan City has joined us, which we're grateful for. And we have Randy Novak, who's been a long-time friend of the Paladin, and a board member, Alan Sandick. And we have Lisa Southby. We have Chris Pate. Just so many wonderful people here. I just am really grateful. And so I would like to introduce our president and CEO.
Good morning. I kind of had to laugh when we started. Hear the rain get harder. Oh my gosh, we got to tell everybody, cut it like they had done it. No, I moved up here in 1998, and I saw the transplant to this area. Absolutely fell in love with it. But in my job, I never really got the support with both towns very much. I was always in either South Bend or more in the Lake. So when I came to Paladin, now, I can. So that makes it different. So when I started, I remember Paula at the very beginning saying one thing we would like to do was talk about the building, how we can make the building better. So you started with a vision. And we looked around and we said, okay, maybe we should move, maybe we shouldn't. So what eventually happened was we were told the bones here are good. I wouldn't move, rebuild in this area. And so the plan started to develop, and then when Ton and Blake got involved, they did more than our wildest dreams. They came in, they helped us kind of create the vision, they've got these amazing pictures, these amazing drawings. They've just been wonderful to work with. So that was great. But then you got somebody to do it, but how are you going to pay for it? So we had an auction in here, it was full of stuff. And that gave us a little nominal money. We had a fundraiser that gave us a little nominal money. But then thanks to the support of Michael Hutchins and Bull, we were able to go in front of the council, and thankfully the council supported us. And that's where we got the $500,000. And I can't thank Randy enough, Mike, Connie, for that support that you gave us, because we had a little vision, a little smoke, but it wasn't until they actually came through, that's when the fire really started. So then we could really get to work. So between that and we sold some property, we were close. But we still weren't debating. We just needed one more push. Thanks to Congressman Mrvan, that was our push. By writing this in that HUD grant, for that $1.525 million, that would put us over the top. So now we can really start going, really get our vision. And what does that mean? That means a better facility for the folks that we support. You can see, it's an aging facility. It's old. If you walk through, if you do the walkthrough with this, you'll see some rain spots on their tile. You can see that it needs some updating. It's going to give us the technology we need to be a better support service for them. It's going to expand our ability to support. this entire LaPorte County area. So as we're thinking about the double track project, thinking about more people coming in, we're going to have that capacity to bring more people, about 100 more people, in fact, into this building. Plus, we're talking about expanding services. So you're not only helping us expand what we can do for the folks we support, but also for the community. Some of those ideas are Michigan City Area Schools has talked about needing a better transitional program. So we're, part of our building is going to be a transitional building. So we can help support that. We hear there's a need for elderly folks who live at home with their parents. They need some place to support their elderly, their parents. We've done that in the past. We have a space here that we're going to branch out to that. So not only does this help us, we're doing more for the community, and we'll continue to work for this community. I absolutely love it. So thank you to everybody for the support you provided us. And thank you for coming today on such a beautiful day. And now I'm going to introduce Mrvan.
I first want to start off by thanking Miranda and Brett, because I work in a very noisy, stressful, a lot of noise going on all the time. So I may join you in the sensory room if you allow me to. But thank you for your courage on showing up and being here today and being able to share your view of what this investment looks like. I also want to thank Steve and the Paladin family. We have to start off by always giving credit where credit is due. When I was elected very early on, 3 years ago, Senator Bohacek served with my father, absolutely, positively advocated and didn't stop until I knew that a community-funded project here in Michigan City and here at Paladin would turn things around and it would be transformational. He didn't call me once, he called me 15 times. He called me to testify in front of the council, which I couldn't do because it was American Rescue Plan dollars. American Rescue Plan dollars came from Congress, and Congress could go and ask for them to do that. But he then said, after he gave the seed money, he followed up with more calls and said, how can we get some sort of community-funded project? And it is an example of Melissa and Mike putting their passion into purpose, and now we have all of our community coming together so that we serve the greater good of people. And so I'm here today as a vehicle. So I'm grateful and I have great gratitude that I've been mentioned a lot, but it is all of you in the community, and Melissa, and the parents that have made this difference. It gave me the opportunity to advocate, because that's what we do in Congress. There are 435 members that are competing for dollars to go to their districts. But when you have that passion and the outcomes that show the quality of life that you're providing for individuals, it makes it easy. And it gives you that spark to make sure that Brett and Miranda have that opportunity to be able to excel, to be able to focus on their independence, to be able to focus on their potential, to be able to focus on competencies. Those are what are the mission, and that's what drives us. So today isn't about the dollar figure of $1.525 million. Today is not about me delivering. It is about making sure Miranda and Brett and families and all of Michigan City have the opportunity to strive, thrive, and to be able to reach the next level. And as we grow, because Michigan City is a hot spot in all of the Chicagoland area, with the double tracking, with the SOLA, with the condos, with the development, we have a lot going on. And what that means is we will have more development and more residents. And so as more residents come in, what a greater investment than the quality of life. The quality of life for all, and equal opportunity for everyone to participate in that quality of life. So I will go forward knowing, taking that message back to Washington, D.C. on the collaboration that has been shown today to be able to make progress. And I often say, where I work in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of noise. And what you don't hear about is bipartisan partners working together. And this is an example of collaborative effort in a bipartisan way to produce results. So hopefully we can all go forward as ambassadors to say the system does work. and we can work together to the better of the community. I'm honored and humbled to be here, but it is a great day to deliver resources to allow all of you to do what you do best here at Paladin. So Steve, it's the passion in your voice and the technology and all of those things is really due to your eligibility in saying, hey, you're eligible for these projects, the Paladin team coming together and saying we can do this. And then I also have to say I work very closely with Melissa at NICA. She's transitioned here for a year. So she was taking care of the vulnerable, giving a voice to the voiceless years ago. And we have stayed in contact because as a township trustee, that was one of our focal points. And then when I walked in, I asked her, how are you enjoying the transition? She said, I have found where I belong. So my closing statement is, may all of you and your families find Paladin as the place where you belong. I thank you all very much and have a wonderful day.
Okay, now we have a question and answers. Do you have any questions today?
Sweet. It's always a very tense moment, but never know where that can go. Yes.
Yes,
Steve, when's the completion date estimated?
we are still developing the budget for the plans. I mean, from what I understand, about 8 months once we finalize that. Does that sound about right? So we're thinking probably spring of next year.
So we'll be back here then.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to take a tour, we'll give you up into some groups and walk everybody around. For those who don't want to take a tour, thanks again for coming today. There's reflections back here. So choose.